I want to start in regards to what happened Monday night with Hamlin. Man, that was a terrible, terrible thing to actually witness it, actually see it. And I'm actually talking from a player's perspective now of seeing your teammate in that situation and being on the field, being in the locker room, not knowing what's going on. Because when you go to battle with somebody all through OTAs, all through training camp, and then you have a thought in your mind, I wonder what's going on with this player, it's always tough. And the reason why I relate to that so well is because it happened to me. I think it was '97. It was actually here. My former teammate in college, Reggie Brown. His career was ended on a play like that, and we were on the field for quite a while. And I was there to actually see it and witness it, and to see my friend lay down there and know this his career is over with. But not just that, you don't know what's happening. The only thing I do know is I saw him and he was purple and blue, and that was as scary as it can get. And he pulled through, as we all know. But man, it's tough. It's tough. And man, there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of things that could be said one way or another. But the fact of the matter is we're talking about him and his family and his livelihood. And to me, that's as far as it should go, So all prayers to him and his family. And man, we're hoping and we're praying things go well for that player. In regards to the game last week, man, all credit goes to the players. They understood exactly what we were trying to do. The discipline, the technique, the execution was on point. The coaching staff did a really good job during the week of getting the players prepared. And I think the most important thing that I get out of this last game is just the character of our team in general, and just defensively speaking, the character of our defense, because that's another thing that I challenge our guys with. You guys know I've been talking about this for a long time, of breaking barriers. And this was one barrier that we just hadn't had a chance to face, of, man, getting your ass whooped by a team. And how do you come back from that? Or how do you come back now? We lost. We lost against Buffalo. We came back. But we got beat pretty bad. And, man, those guys came back and they performed. To me, that shows the growth and maturity and where we're going as a team and as an organization. So was really proud of that.
Aaron, more on Reggie. How long does obviously it stays with you forever, but like how long does it stay in your head as a player, just knowing that any one play can be career ending or life threatening?
Well, that's the nature of this game, first and foremost, that you just don't know. We know it's a violent sport. We know it's a tough sport. But I would say this, that play will never go away. The fact that it was a close friend of mine, the fact that it's a brotherhood, so regardless of who it was, and the fact that every time I saw him after that conversation came up. So, and any time you just think about your career, like things like that will always flash. So that will never leave me at all. And I know those players for Buffalo and Cincinnati, I'll never leave them too, because that's a critical moment in their career. They had a chance to, that they was a part of that. So tough.
You guys finished the game that day.
You know what? It's hard to say, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna say this again. That wasn't even important, to be honest. It was the fact that I didn't know what was going on with Reggie at that time. And again, I think this was the same situation. I think the NFL handled it perfect, of getting the players off the field. The first responders and the medical people, I think they did an outstanding job, and they gave him another chance, right? And I know that's what he wants, another chance.
Did you ever lay a hit on someone that potentially caused a severe injury or something that made you wrestle with playing the sport?
Did I ever lay a hit on somebody like that? I tackled. I don't know if I hit anybody hard enough for something like that to happen. I don't know.
I realize
realize this question might be it is above your pay grades, and maybe you want to punt on it, but I'm just curious. There's some players talking about how the game shouldn't be played on like next weekend. I'm just curious where you stand on that.
You know what? And you're right. That's above me. And man, it's so much that we don't know. There's so much that goes into that really the jargon that goes into that to me is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to even talk about it because you just don't know everything that goes along with it, you know. So, man, I leave that up to the people that get paid millions of bucks to make that decision. And but I will say this: I thought it was the right decision. Yeah, I thought it was the right decision.
Coach, how confident are you going into this game knowing that your team is battle tested?
I've said this on a number of occasions. I know what this team's about. I'm talking about our team. So when it comes to confidence, that's never an issue, you know. So I go in each week confident that we're going to go out there and execute the way we need to execute. I have total belief in these players. I have total belief in the coaching staff. I have total belief in myself. And each week we put a plan together to go out there and win. And the players buy into that. Now, does it always happen? No. All right. But for the most part, we're confident in what we're trying to do. We're confident in our players, and we're confident in the ability to go out there as a team, all right, to try to play complementary football to go win a game.
Looking for this Green Bay offense over the last month during their 4-0 stretch, it looks like they've really gotten back to running the football and that being, you know, kind of the main thing offensively. Just what are the challenges there with how they've played over the last month, especially running the football?
Well, this team is a challenge in itself, especially with the two backs that they do have, because they both give you something different scheme-wise. The thing is, we know exactly what they bring to the table as far as that. All right, so Jones is a good speedy back that can really hit it downhill. 28 is a pounder. All right, we know that, so we have to get all hands on deck to make sure we get him down. And then we're aware of what the quarterback can do. All right, so he's a future Hall of Famer. All right, so this team is always dangerous. The guys went out there well and executed the first time we played them, and I expect the same thing.
Forced a bunch of turnovers that sort of maybe started the snowball going with all the takeaways that you've had since. I don't know, do you see that maybe it was one that just sort of started building that confidence with all the takeaways, and then the flip side, they've done a better job taking care of the ball since that game? Is that about them running or Rodgers playing?
Well, I don't know what they're doing on defense, but I know us, for example. I mean, I know for us, to me, I always think anytime you get a takeaway, anytime you get a number of takeaways, usually a number of takeaways come behind that if you're hunting the ball. And our guys try to do that, and we say they come in bunches. So that's a good statement because we got them then, and then they start just coming behind each other each game. So that's one thing we try to do anyway, and that's one of our philosophies for the most part is we're attacking the football. And that's what our guys do. Even last week you saw that happen with our guys. So hopefully we can go out there and get a couple of more because we know it's going to be crucial as far as us getting a chance to win this game because, again, we know what those guys bring to the table.
More takeaways. I meant their offense not turning the ball over as much as the Packers is. Are they doing anything different to protect the ball? Is Rodgers playing better at the run that Tim asked about? Maybe
don't throw it to the other team and hold on to it. That's as good as I can tell you. So, and I think everybody preaches that, you know. So, there's nothing new. I mean, that's just football 101. I mean, offense, they try to protect the defense, we try to take it away, you know. So there's nothing magical about that. You know, it's just, I mean, what team intentionally tries to do it and what team really tries to hold on to it. So I think we take this more than what it really is.
Aaron, you've got a young team, in some ways still a relatively inexperienced team.
Yeah.
What is the balance, particularly in the secondary, of playing fearless and loose, and having that respect for Rodgers and what he's able to accomplish, especially in prime time?
We respect all our opponents, but we're always gonna cut it loose. I mean, that's just what we try to do, you know. So we don't take this more from what it is. All right. We look at these guys and we say nameless faces, but we know this guy's name and we know his face. All right. But at the end of the day, we're after the football. At the end of the day, we're trying to win a game. And that's what this is. It's either win or you lose. All right. In the simplest terms. And we do everything we can to try to go win a game, regardless of who it is. Again, we respect our opponents, but we also trying to beat the heck out of our opponents too, though. So.
James Houston was obviously very productive last week. We've seen his reps steadily increase. Got the start last week, playing more on first down and those things. What has he shown you in practice where you're now confident to give him some more of those reps, have him be a bigger part of the whole game plan?
Well, I don't think there's anything new from what we've been talking about from the beginning of making sure we save that player from himself, of making sure he understands exactly what we're trying to do on a down-to-down basis. And he's doing a really good job in practice. And I'm going to continue to say this, you earn your keep. And he has earned the right to play on first and second down. He's earned the right to play on those third down situations. And he's continued to earn the right, just like every other person in our defense. When you go out and practice the way you're supposed to practice, and you show that you know what you got, what's going on, you're going to play.